In the springtime, shepherds leave for the high mountain pastures to take care of the town's sheep and cows. Radu's uncle, Nikolai, is an expert at making cheese. He pours warm curdled milk through a strainer into wooden barrels. Then he beats the mixture to speed up the process of separating the different parts of the milk. Like all other children, Nikolai's youngest son, Toader, starts his apprenticeship at an early age. The heavy part of the milk forms into curds and sinks to the bottom of the barrel. This will become the cheese. The thin liquid on top is poured out. But before the cheese can be put on the shepherd's shelf to cure, any remaining liquid has to come out. That's why it's wrapped in linen cloth and suspended in the sun. Planks could be cut faster and straighter by machine. But the craftsmen of Maramuresh are highly skilled and proud of their traditions. This is the way planks have always been made in Bogdan Voda. As the Maramuresh is a mountainous region, fertile land is rare and often located at some distance from the village. The community has tried to solve this problem by dividing up the land as equally as possible. In Romania, most of the land is collectivized. This means that it doesn't belong to individual farmers, but to the community or to the state. In Bogdan Voda, each farmer decides how much land he wants to cultivate and receives a proportionate share of the harvest. Because the people of Bogdan Voda no longer have to buy the land for themselves or for their children, they can use the money they earn to improve their homes and live better. There is also a time to play and to have fun. Picking tomatoes for supper can be fun, too. So can learning how to crochet with a bunch of little friends. Vasily, the blacksmith, always has plenty of work. There are over 200 horses in Bogdan Voda, and each one needs a new set of shoes every 2 months. Yaushka, the wheelmaker, keeps busy, too. Wagons are the main form of transport in town. Radu holds the horse's bridle to keep him calm. He is helping his father and is also learning to understand and work with animals. Wagons are an important part of village life. They can go everywhere, even where a car or tractor couldn't go. And in Bogdan Voda, wagons aren't taken to a garage. They're serviced and repaired by Vasily and Yoshka. There aren't many stores in town, so when a passing gypsy caravan comes through, Radu and his sisters are sent to buy some goods. The gypsies sell it themselves. Simeon is the village kozhelkar. Helped by his wife Doka, he makes embroidered sheepskin vests called kozhuks. These vests have several layers. The first is the warm sheep wool. This is covered with a layer of fine leather, onto which hundreds of multicolored strands and pieces of leather will be woven and sewn. Everybody in Bogdan has a kozhuk. Many people have two, one for the weekdays and one for Sunday. It takes about a month to make one, and they are quite expensive. But they are a part of the Maramurish tradition, and each village has its own style. While many of the young people no longer wear the traditional white pants and hand-woven shirts, you'd never find them on Sunday, winter or summer, without their embroidered sheepskin jackets. The church in Bogdan dates from the 18th century. It is an example of a highly developed woodworking skill of the people of Maramurish. Viorica and Maria are getting ready for Sunday. It is the day when the week's work is forgotten and everybody puts on their best clothes. On Sunday, everybody enjoys strolling and talking with his friends and neighbors. Bogdan is small enough so that everyone knows everyone else, but farming is hard work, and this is the only day when people really have some time. So everybody is out on the main road. The women sit on benches and talk. Young people walk in small groups, laughing and joking. The men stand around in a circle, discussing the town's business. Certain Sundays, there is a hora. In Romania, each region has its own particular style of dancing and music, and Maramurish is no exception. This afternoon, Radu's father is busy in the field and has sent him with a wagon to pick up an injured lamb. Ion, Radu's friend, is grazing his flock about 15 kilometers from town. The black lamb probably injured his leg against a sharp rock or a protruding branch. Radu has promised to take it to the veterinarian before the evening meal. He must hurry, because the vet is very busy and has to leave later for another village. Radu knows the road well and should be home with plenty of time to spare. In Bogdan responsibility is something you learn naturally. There is much work to be done, and people can only rely on themselves and on their children. Radu is growing up, and he will be sharing more and more in the chores and the decisions that must be made. Radu is on time. The vet is an important man in the village. Animals supply eggs and milk and meat. They plow the fields and are used for transport. They're the villagers' wealth. The vet is the one who makes sure they stay healthy, and he's always busy. Today is market day. Radu's father has been thinking of buying a horse. It's a big event for a young boy, and Radu is full of anticipation. Bogdan Voda is a small town, and some of the young people think about going to the city, where there are other kinds of jobs and many kinds of distractions. Radu sometimes thinks about it too. Life in a big town seems so much easier. But Radu likes life in the country and its traditions. He likes learning things from his father and from his grandfather. He likes driving a wagon and running in the fields. Which way of life is better? It's hard to choose.